Welcome to Daily English Room. Today's topic is art. Do you enjoy looking at art?
Of course. As a graphic designer, looking at art is both part of my job and my passion. I especially love how art styles differ between Eastern and Western cultures.
What type of art do you prefer?
I love minimalist Japanese art and modern graphic design. The simplicity and attention to detail in both styles really speaks to me. I often incorporate these elements into my own work.
Did you learn about art at school?
Yes, art education was an important part of our curriculum in Japan. We practiced traditional calligraphy and studied both Japanese and Western art history. It really influenced my career choice.
Have you ever created any art yourself?
Yes, creating art is my profession. Besides my graphic design work, I also do traditional Japanese watercolor painting as a hobby. It helps me stay connected to my cultural roots.
Is there an art gallery or museum in your area?
Tokyo has countless museums and galleries. I frequently visit the design museum close to my studio. They showcase both traditional Japanese art and contemporary design, which is perfect for my interests.
How do you feel about public art, like murals or sculptures in the street?
As a designer, I believe public art is essential for urban spaces. In Japan, we have a wonderful balance of traditional and modern public art. I'm currently working on a project to design some public signage that incorporates artistic elements.
Do you think art is important in everyday life?
Definitely. Design and art influence everything around us, from the cups we drink from to the signs we read. Good design makes our daily lives both easier and more beautiful.
Do you think art classes should be mandatory in schools?
Of course. In Japan, art education helped me develop patience and attention to detail. These skills are valuable in any career, not just creative ones. Plus, it's a great way to understand cultural heritage.
Has social media changed the way you experience art?
As a graphic designer, social media has completely transformed how I share and discover art. Pinterest and Instagram are like virtual museums, though I think they sometimes make us focus too much on trends rather than originality.
What's your opinion on digital art versus traditional art?
I work with both forms daily. Digital tools offer incredible precision and efficiency, but traditional techniques have a special warmth and character. I think the best approach is combining both methods.
What role do you think art plays in preserving culture?
In Japan, art is fundamental to our cultural identity. From traditional woodblock prints to modern manga, art helps us maintain our cultural uniqueness while embracing contemporary influences.
Have you ever been to an art festival?
In Japan, we have many traditional art festivals throughout the year. My favorite is a modern design festival in Tokyo where artists and designers collaborate on installations. It's very inspiring for my work.
What kind of art would you like to have in your home?
I prefer a mix of traditional Japanese prints and contemporary graphic design pieces. My apartment has a gallery wall combining both styles, and I often rotate the artwork to keep the space fresh.
Do you think anyone can become an artist?
I believe everyone has artistic potential, but it takes dedication to develop it. As a designer, I've seen how practice and perseverance are just as important as natural talent.
How has technology changed the way we experience art?
As a graphic designer, I've seen massive changes. Digital tools have made design more efficient, but they've also created new art forms entirely. However, I think it's important to understand traditional techniques too.
How much time do you spend on art-related activities each week?
Since it's part of my job, I spend most of my working hours on design. But for personal art projects, I dedicate at least 3 hours every weekend to practicing traditional Japanese painting.
Do you think art should be expensive?
As a professional designer, I understand the value of artistic work. However, I think there should be art available at all price points. Digital platforms have made this more possible than ever.
What role does music play in your appreciation of visual art?
Traditional Japanese art is often connected to musical concepts like rhythm and harmony. When I work on traditional paintings, I sometimes listen to traditional Japanese music to maintain that connection.
Have you ever tried to teach someone else about art?
I mentor young design students sometimes, teaching them both digital tools and traditional Japanese design principles. It's rewarding to help them find their own creative voice.
If you could create your dream art project, what would it be?
I dream of designing a public space that perfectly blends Japanese minimalism with modern functionality. Something that shows how traditional aesthetics can improve modern urban life.
How has your taste in art changed over time?
My design education started with very rigid, traditional Japanese principles. Over time, I've learned to blend these with contemporary styles. My taste has become more flexible while still respecting traditional elements.
What role does photography play in your life?
As a designer, I constantly take photos for reference and inspiration. I especially love photographing examples of traditional Japanese design in modern settings. It helps inform my work.
How do seasons or weather affect your appreciation of art?
Seasonal changes are deeply important in Japanese art. I find myself drawn to different color palettes and motifs as the seasons change. It naturally influences my design work.
Do you have any art-related apps on your phone?
I use many design apps professionally, but I also have some traditional Japanese art apps that demonstrate brush techniques. They're helpful when I'm away from my studio.
How do you think art affects mental health?
Traditional Japanese art practices like calligraphy have taught me mindfulness. When I'm feeling overwhelmed with design deadlines, returning to these practices helps restore balance.
Do you have a favorite color to use in art?
In my design work, I frequently use indigo. It's a color deeply rooted in traditional Japanese art. It can be both modern and traditional, depending on how you use it.
Have you ever bought art from a street artist?
Yes, I collect small pieces from street artists when I travel. It's interesting to see how different cultures interpret urban art. These pieces often inspire my design work.
How do you feel about graffiti?
From a designer's perspective, I'm interested in how graffiti artists use topography and space. In Japan, There's an interesting tension between traditional art forms and modern street art.
What role does art play in advertising?
As a graphic designer, I often work on advertising projects. The challenge is creating something both artistically interesting and commercially effective. It's about finding the right balance.
What is the most important thing art has taught you about life?
The biggest lesson art has taught me is the importance of balance, between old and new, simplicity and complexity, work and creativity. Traditional Japanese art shows us that even empty space has meaning. This understanding has influenced not just my design work, but how I approach life itself.
That's all for today's daily English room conversation practice. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, like, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button. See you next time.